Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Makeup Together, where I'm just cooking my dinner and trying to share some quick and easy and yummy tasting healthy recipes with you guys. Funny thing, I was going to be so prepared and I made a whole menu of what I was going to make for 2 weeks, right, 2 weeks. But when you make a menu, you have to go to the store. So I completely I don't know, I left like half the things off of the list. I was just crazy weekend, but that's no excuse. I gotta do better next time. So today I was gonna make my food. I had the whole thing planned. I was super excited, and I realized I don't have two of the main ingredients, the sides that I was gonna use to make with this. So I had to rummage through my kitchen. But I think I came up with some good stuff. So I had some shrimp that was thawed out. I was going to do those tomorrow, but that's okay. I will do those tonight. So tonight we're going to do some shrimp. And then I found some asparagus. So we're going to do some asparagus with it. I like asparagus with fish anyways. And then I found some cabbage, literally like just this much, but that's all right. And cabbage, and I'm going to mix it with some onion and garlic. And some seasoning, and try to make that work as a side. And lesson learned for next time. Go to the store and be prepared. I mean, I went through all that to put together a menu, and then I just totally did not get what I needed to. But that's okay, because luckily we had some stuff here that I can still make something that's going to taste pretty good. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Alright, so I have all my washed asparagus here. This might look like a lot, but asparagus kind of shrinks down as you cook it. So I am just going to turn this to the side, chop off the ends here, and just get those on the pan. But first, olive oil the pan. I like to cook the asparagus on lower heat when I'm cooking them, so that way they don't get charred. So I like to cook these on about 350. So I'm going to go ahead and preheat the oven. So yeah, 350, I'm going to put it in there for about 15 minutes, flip it over, and do that again. Do another 15. So I washed them. I'm going to go ahead and chop all the bottoms off of these. Sprinkle some olive oil on them, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. I actually like these with just a little bit of either Parmesan or mozzarella cheese. Mozzarella is what I have today, so that's what we're going to use. I don't know why I was cutting these like one at a time, because you can really line them up and cut a lot. So the first time that I made asparagus, I had no idea, and I cut it up here. Now this was a long time ago, so I've had a little bit more experience, but I remember cooking it, and I had cut off like half the asparagus. So you don't need to cut off too much of it. And these ends are good to eat. So I'm just going to chop these up. I'm really happy that I had these in the refrigerator. I still can't believe that I didn't go get everything. We were going to have steamed broccoli with some baked sweet potatoes and shrimp. But that's alright. We are going to have to do that. I'm probably going to go to the store tonight to go get it. And make sure that I check off everything else from my grocery list. Oh, this one doesn't have a little head. Anybody out there watching this used to watch Veggie Tales? That used to be my favorite show ever. And there was an asparagus on there. With all the talking vegetables. My son still likes watching that movie. All those movies. We had them all from growing up. And I keep the rubber bands that I get off the asparagus. I mean, might as well, right? Alright, so I'm just going to scoot these over. I'm going to toss those out in a minute. But I'm just going to show you guys what I do for this. So I'm just going to lay them out so they have plenty of room. They do shrink up when they cook. So if it looks like a lot, it doesn't shrink up as much as spinach does. But it does shrink up a little bit. So I'm just going to lay that out so there's enough room for them. Alright, there we go. And then I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to these, to the tops. And then I'm just going to salt and pepper these. I actually didn't grab those yet, so sorry while I reach over here and get some. Alright, so just a little bit salt and pepper. These are bigger salt grains, so it comes out a little bit slower. So if it looked like that was a lot of salt, that's why. I don't like things super salty. Alright, so we're just going to do it like that, and then I'm going to put these in the oven, but I'm going to wait for the oven to preheat, so I'm going to go ahead and chop up some other things while I'm waiting. Alright, so I got a nice clean cutting board. I'm going to go ahead and chop up what I'm going to just put into with the cabbage. I didn't really have a recipe for it. It was just kind of whatever was in my refrigerator. So I'm going to get some garlic. If you hadn't seen this trick before, works amazing, because trying to peel garlic by itself can just be so frustrating. So just take the knife and just push it on there. It just literally makes all of the skin come off. Bam! That was super easy. Sure beats trying to peel it off, and then garlic makes your fingers all sticky. So just press down on it like that, and then you'll be able to get it. And then I just mince this up into smaller pieces here, just so that way it gets all throughout the dish. Garlic can be very potent, and so you don't want to get too much garlic on there in one bite. So I try to mince it up a little bit. I'm still learning my mincing techniques. I just try to like slice it up and then just chop it. But I still need to, I always wanted to be like those people that are like, and they're so fast at chopping it. I don't know how to do that yet, but I will get better at it. I've heard it's a lot easier if you have a sharper knife. We have good knives and they serve their purpose, but there definitely are sharper ones out there. So I'm just going to chop that up, leave that to the side. I'm going to get a fresh onion. If I had a purple onion, that would definitely be ideal with this. But I'm just going to get this all ready and take off the skin. Alright, I got an all clean onion. I don't really have any tips for getting the skin off of an onion. So if you have any tips, please leave some of those below, because sometimes they don't want to come off all the way, and then you lose like some layers of your onion, and you know, I like to use all of what I pay for. So I'm just going to chop up this onion here. I got some new editing software, so I hadn't posted cooking videos in like 3 days, and I made the videos. I just was not able to post them because I was using a trial version for one editing software, and I was just trying to find one that would be worth the money. So I finally settled on one. It was $69, so I'm hoping that it'll work for what I want it to. And it's hard learning it, but because I'm not too tech savvy, but I'm gonna have to do a little bit of homework for that. Alright, so this is the cabbage. I'm just going to cut this up into not super small pieces. Oh, the onion, it's burning my eyes. Onions make you want to cook with goggles. Look like you're going scuba diving or something, but gosh. Normally I do cabbage with sausage. I have not done cabbage and shrimp, but that's alright. So I'm just going to chop this up really quick and go ahead and heat up a pan with a little bit of olive oil and get that going. Alright, so I got the pan going, heating up with just some olive oil. I'm going to go ahead and put the asparagus in there in the oven. I have it on 350. I'm going to put it on the top shelf, and I'm going to just set the timer for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to check it, flip it over. Alright, so the pan I have on medium low, and I'm going to try to just get right now, the garlic and the onions in there. There's obviously a little bit of cabbage trying to sneak in there too, but that's alright. And I do that because I like it when the onions are a little bit more caramelized, I guess, and I have found doing it that way is just easier. Adding the onions is easier, and then adding everything on top. That way they still get that good caramel kind of texture and look to them. I think they taste a lot better like that. And remember that garlic burns very easy. I learned that the hard way. Alright, so I got that in there. I'm going to just continue to stir it around, probably for like 3 minutes or so to get those onions how I want them, and then I'm going to add in the cabbage. Alright, so we got the onions going pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and add the cabbage. And then add a little bit of seasoning to them. And I was thinking about cooking the shrimp separately. I'm still kind of debating on whether or not I want to just throw the shrimp in here, maybe. And just kind of do it as like a one pan kind of meal. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and get the cabbage stirred in there. And then I'm going to season it. Alright, got that. So for seasoning, we're going to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. I'm also going to add some cumin, a little bit of oregano, and then also going to be adding a little bit of onion powder. Don't want to do the big side, that would be a little too much. A little bit of onion powder. I know that there's onions in there, but I'm going to add a little bit of onion powder as well. So I'm going to mix up all the spices, and then I'm going to just squeeze a little bit of lemon in here as well. I think that that would give that a nice little flavor. Alright. I always try to flatten it out so that way when I'm putting stuff on there, it kind of gets evenly coated. So I've used this lemon for squeezing. This is like I always try to keep a half like a lemon squeeze. Half a lemon to squeeze in things. I'm also going to be adding that in the shrimp if I do it separately. Alright, so I'm going to mix that up. And then I'm going to just put the lid on this and just continue to stir it. Alright, so we got the cabbage going. We have the asparagus in here. It has about 4 more minutes until I need to flip it. The next thing I'm going to do is just grate a little bit of mozzarella cheese that I'm going to put on the asparagus. Alright, so I'm still waiting on the cabbage to cook, but I'm going to go ahead and flip over the asparagus since the timer went off. And they look good. Still got that good bright green color, which is what I like to see. So I'm just going to flip those over, put those in there for another 15 minutes. Because I'm cooking them at a lower temperature, they're going to be in there a little bit longer. And once again, the reason why I'm cooking them at a lower temperature is so that they don't get burnt or just get that char, because then it takes out some of the nutritional value to them when they're crisp, even though they do taste really good like that. Alright, so I'm going to add those for another 15 minutes. The cabbage is still going, but it looks really good, and I actually tasted a little bit of it. So it's got a nice little flavor to it with those spices. So that probably needs a little bit more time. And then I'm just going to kind of scoot this food to the side and put the shrimp in there with some butter and cook it like that. Alright, so I'm going to just move the cabbage to the side here. I like to do this sometimes, just sharing the pan. And it's not only because I don't want to wash another one. It's also just because it adds flavor to whatever is in there. Like cabbage, I think, can be pretty bland. So I'm just going to add that in there. So I'm going to just put a little butter in there. Turn it down just a little bit. And And I have my shrimp. This has already peeled and deveined, tails off, all that. I'm not a big fan of doing that to the shrimp. And then I just thawed them out. And I washed my hands, of course. I just didn't want to pour it in there because I didn't want there to be a lot of the ice that's still kind of on there, if you can see. So that way it's not really watery with all the ice melting. I suppose I'm not really getting it. Oh yeah, I am, because there's water at the bottom of here. So I'm happy that I did it this way. I'm just breaking off some of the extra ice that was on there, even though I thawed them out. Yeah, there is like a good fourth a cup of water in here, so I'm happy I did that. I don't know if you guys can see that, and I did not want that in here. So we like shrimp around here, so I was not going to short us on shrimp, so I just get 2 bags. These are 212, so that's 24 ounces of shrimp. And these bags were on sale, $7.99, originally $12.99. So if they're on sale, that makes me happy. Alright, just have to rinse off my hand. Alright, so I'm going to just keep the shrimp in the middle here. So that way it can get browned. Shrimp does not take long. It's very easy for them to become rubbery, which we don't want rubbery shrimp. So, my lip popped at the end of shrimp though. Shrimp. Alright. Come on. I really don't like my hands being dirty, so every time I touch something, I just want to rinse it off. Alright, so I'm just going to stir up the shrimp a little bit. I'm going to add just a little bit more heat, just a little bit. The shrimp does not take very long, so I'm going to just make sure that I continue to stir it up. See, you already got some of the shrimp browning, because shrimp does not take long. And I've made rubbery shrimp before, and I do not want this one to be rubbery. So we're going to get that cooking. I'm just going to watch it. I'm going to make my own little thing over here. There we go, that works. Alright, so I had to put on pause because my dog was going crazy over here. But anyways, so I got the shrimp stirred up in there. I'm going to put a lid on it and just kind of let it steam in there. Alright. The asparagus still has 7 minutes, so I'm excited because this actually didn't take very long. So I wanted to share something with you guys kind of while everything is cooking. Let me readjust here. So this book I bought off of Amazon. It was $34, so it was a really good deal considering all the information that is in here. This is from Christina Kerp from the Castaway Kitchen. She has a really good Instagram page. I will put a link to it below. And so I got this because it had some recipes for anti-inflammatory, which is really important to me with having sarcoidosis and the inflammation in my lymph nodes and in my chest. So I really wanted to try this out because diet's so important. So it's called Made Whole. And I'm not going to give you guys too much about it because I want you guys to get it. Really, you guys should. And I am not getting paid to talk about this because I don't have enough subscribers yet, so I'm not getting paid for telling you to buy this, but I would totally recommend this book. What I really like about it is that she puts in here more information about why you should change your diet and autoimmune protocol and paleo and why these recipes work and why the food is good for you. And she also talks about some of the stuff to stay away from or things that you shouldn't be eating so much of. Like, for example, one thing, I don't know that you should really limit how much nuts you eat, but you should. So there's that. She has so many recipes, everything in the back here, lots of sauces, a lot of goodness. She's got a lot of desserts. So I'm gonna have to try out some of these and just take a video with them, but I wanted to share it with you guys. And there's so many different recipes in here, lots of sauces that I've tried. And then once again, just a wealth of information. She has a quick guide for substitutes. If you are trying to substitute different things out in your diet, this works a lot. So I would totally recommend this book. And she's got a little bit about herself and why she tried this diet, and they're paleo keto recipes. So I would totally recommend this. Once again, it's Made Whole by Christina Kerp from the Castaway Kitchen. And just a lot more than just recipes, but a lot of information that'll really help you. And there's even a section here for kid-friendly keto, so to get your kids eating healthy as well and making it fun. Because sometimes with this stuff, they don't want to eat some of it, but there's lots of fun ways to make it taste good that your kids will like it as well. All right, so we got that going. I'm going to check on the asparagus here, and this is pretty much done. All right, so I went ahead and stirred this up. This looks good to me. It smells really good too. So I'm just going to turn that off. I'm going to take out the asparagus here. We'll see if that's done. I think it is. All right, yes, that is done. And that's not too overly done. So I'm going to just turn that off. I'm going to stir this. All right, and then I'm going to add the cheese. This has already been seasoned, so I just need to add the cheese, and then we will be good to go. These do not want to lay out flat. All right. All right, so I grated a little bit of mozzarella cheese, and I'm just going to kind of add that on there. The oven is already off, but I'm going to just pop it in there for a little bit more just to let all that melt. But it looks good. That's how I wanted it to be. So 350 for about 30 minutes seemed to be a pretty good sweet spot. So there we go. So I'm just going to put this back in the oven for a little bit, let that cheese melt. It smells really good. I don't really like how I'm assuming it's the cabbage that kind of turned the shrimp gray. So, I mean, I'm going to eat it because it's going to taste good. But I probably won't do the shrimp with the cabbage again just because, so. All right, well, there we have it. This was super quick. Actually, the video is 22 minutes long, but I really only paused it to cut up a little bit. So this was super quick and easy. It smells delicious. I'm super excited to taste it. So thank you so much for watching. If you've watched this far, if you've tuned in from one of the last videos, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate the support. I now have 9 subscribers. So moving on up. It's kind of a slow process, but I completely appreciate everyone who has subscribed and liked and commented and whatnot on the videos. Be sure to check out my Instagram. I'm going to put my name below. Be sure to check it out and see the picture of how this delicious food tasted. Hey Jeremiah. So be sure to check out how it looked. Thank you once again for watching, and please like and subscribe. Leave some comments. Let me know what you guys thought about this or any tips or tricks that you have. All right, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you.